Hello everybody. It's 2 o'clock on Wednesday and I'm live, and today we're going to be making some scrapbook pages using this pumpkin spice set. I tell you what, I was looking all over my house for a few things that I needed, and all the construction happening in my house has been interesting. So I've been having trouble with finding things because my craft room is entirely torn up. Everything is in the wrong place. And so I kind of switched gears to show you what I'm going to show you today. And this pumpkin spice set is so cool. And they just announced yesterday that everything is in stock. And there's some really nice artwork in the catalog that you can copy directly. It's just beautiful. And the accessories are these little wood shapes, which I'm going to show you today. There's some Cricut SVG art, the PML cards. There's a couple of stamp sets, and I tell you what, this one right here I've been using on everything. You'll notice on your Hostess Club layout, I used it on there, It's just gorgeous. It is so much fun to use. And part of it is, you know, that's my taste, is I don't want to have to color everything in. And those solid images, you just stamp in a colored ink. I love that. This is the workshop kit that they just announced is back in stock. So now you can order this, and it is so sweet. I mean, look at that paper. You can only get that exclusively through this set, and the little pumpkin with the pictures. Everything about it. I love it. So it's going on my next order. I don't have it in my hands yet. Hi, Terry. And this is the card making workshop, and you get thin cuts with it. And remember, it has this really long thin cut right here it's really long, and it folds after it's cut, and it makes this banner. So it's kind of deceptive because it looks like, oh yeah, I'll just cut a 1/2-inch strip and do that myself, but it is really nice to have the score lines already put in there for you. So this is the set we're using today, and it's out of this catalog. The other thing we're using are we're going to be using the little shaker bits. I decided I'm going to be showing you the shaker pieces in scrapbooking, so that's different. Just another review of these papers. They're so beautiful. I love this all over print, and this is that new color called Harbor that I told you is like, it's a gray, it's a blue, it's a green. It's really, in my head, it's a super dark blue gray, but a lot of people are calling it a dark green. And then you have the kind of the gray plaid, a multicolored polka dot, an orangish paprika stripe. This is my favorite. Gorgeous. These are gorgeous. These trees, we're going to use that today. And then what they call a hero print is the bigger print that has the sweaters on it. Okay, and then the card stocks that we've been using with it is the new Harbor color, paprika, the papaya, and the shortbread. So, you know, these are pretty standard colors. I'm using today for my first layout that I'm going to show you. I'm going to use a 12 by 12 piece of Harbor, and I'm using the dark side. There's a light side. I don't know how easy you can see that in my lighting, but I like to use the dark side. And then I cut this is toffee, and I cut it down to 11 3/4 so that when I attach it to this paper, it will make just a little, you know, border strip around the edge. And again, I'm using the light side of toffee. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that while I'm going here. All right, hold on, my adhesive is gumming up. Ugh. Okay, try again. So my siding people were supposed to show today and did not. And so I don't have my house all crazy today like I expected, but that just means they'll be here tomorrow. They kind of like get hung up at other houses and then they postpone us. It's a good thing I'm not working. Gosh, somebody has to be here to make sure they do what they're supposed to do. Okay, so there's my base, right? It's basically just Harbor and toffee, and I wanted it to be a little sturdier because I'm going to make a giant shaker. So what I did was I took a 12 by 12 piece of white daisy, and I went ahead and I cut a giant leaf out of it using my Cricut. Okay, so it looks like this. Cut out a big leaf, and then this leaf is scrap because I'm not going to use it. And then I have my leaf cut out, and what I did was I took a black pen and I just drew around it. I know it looks like I took forever, but hi Heather. I feel like you. I'm going through your hell of having house stuff going on right now because we just had our roof not long ago, and we had our windows put in Monday. Our house is like Spiderland. Every time we turn around there's another bug in the house. Ugh, don't love that. Okay, so I'm making a big shaker page, and so I cut this out of Cricut. And then I drew around it, and I intentionally cut it in the corner. I was gonna make it centered, but I wanted to be able to keep room for my photo mats. And I'm using Papaya and Harbor, and you can use the dark or the light. And I'm just gonna make a photo mat for here, because I always have pictures of me and Steve where we've gone to, you know, the pumpkin patch or out to the park, or we've gone out walking or whatever. And I feel like sometimes the, you know, we'll do like a little selfie, and then we have like one photo of both of us. Pardon me a minute. I'm fixing my adhesive. I'm having kind of one of those days, you know, those days where nothing is where it's supposed to be, and I had to dig through to find things. I couldn't get to all my page protectors. It was nuts. So anyway, what's going on with you guys? I know, Noelle, you got your job. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. I'm so happy. Noelle's been on the job hunt for a little bit, and that is a challenge during a pandemic. It's like nobody wants to see you in person anymore. I just don't get that. See, I've never really had a job where you didn't like interview in person and apply in person. That's how old I am. I'm not one of those online people when it comes to working. I'm like, oh, let me just meet you. I promise you'll like me, right? Okay. All right, so I'm making my photo mat. I am slow as molasses today. There we go. I had to work on my adhesive. So in order to make this into a shaker, there's a couple of things you have to do. And one thing is that you have to use something as a window. Now, this is just a plastic bag the paper comes in. You could use this, but you can see it's got some wrinkles and stuff in it. The ideal thing to use is a page protector because it's a little sturdier, and all you have to do is glue it onto the back. Now, my page protectors are in hiding, which really sucks, right? So we will attach that later, and then you need to use foam tape, and you need to use the thick style foam tape. And there are some people who even double it, but I don't think that's necessary. So one layer of foam tape, and you basically just need to go around the edge so that when you put your bits into the well, you won't have a problem with them falling down here where they won't show on your page. So you want to make sure, it doesn't really matter about the top, but it does matter with the bottom. You're so funny, Noelle. You know what? I'm going to grab a page protector. I'm going to see if I can, I think I have one nearby. Just a sec. Okay, I just remembered as we were talking. Oh, now I remember where I have one. So I have a page protector, and I am going to cut it. I'm just going to cut it into a big sheet. And obviously, this is not some perfect science. I just need one layer of it, basically. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to move my base for a moment. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to apply adhesive all around. This is going to be in the way too. You know, I have this enormous kitchen counter that I'm working on, and you would think that I would have plenty of space, but I apparently spread out a lot. Okay. I'm using a lot of adhesive because this is plastic. Plastic doesn't like to stick to anything very well. So it's just one of those, you know, I want to be careful and make sure it doesn't just fall off. All right. So I have my page protector, and I'm going to struggle to put it on. It has like a curve to it. Okay. There we go. All right. I'm just going to go around the edges, and then I'm going to put on my foam tape. So when you put foam tape on, I like to use these Teflon scissors because the adhesive doesn't stick so much. The idea with this is that you make it so that there are no areas where your shaker bits will escape. But you don't want the foam tape to show on the front, okay, like that. So pull that off, do that like that. See, I told you I'm having one of those weirdo days. So this is club month. I know a lot of people were waiting for this to come in, this workshop. And I love this workshop. It is really amazing. I had to, right before I went on here, my dog was outside, and he was just sitting at the fence, so sadly, watching people walk by the busier street that's not very far from us. And I just felt so bad for him. I was like, I really should go outside and spend some time with my dog. But and even though the weather's nicer today, it's still blech. I'm just not an outdoor person very much this time of year. I'd rather go out in the winter. Okay. I finally got my foam tape all around. So you guys get your coffee out because since I'm having a slow day. Liquid glue wouldn't work because I'm going to put shaker bits in. Liquid glue would work for maybe the plastic. Like you might be able to squirt some glue under the plastic areas. But since this is going to be a shaker page, it will be a problem. So I know this is crazy, but I'm going to go ahead and take all my stickers off of my foam tape. This is just asking for trouble with the kind of day I'm having. But I'm going to do this and try not to stick everything I own to this tape. So I was talking to Stephanie about blinds on windows, and we had the guy called the Blind Man. They told us they are 6 weeks out in just quoting us a price for new blinds. 6 weeks. I'm like, there really can't be that many people getting expensive blinds. And then I asked, about how much do new blinds cost? And he's like, well, anywhere from $150 to $700 a window. And I'm like, you're crazy, dude. I'm not paying that. Anyway, these are the cool loose sequins that are in the catalog right now, and you can see there's a lot of pieces. So I brought a paper plate so I could dump some out. Again, with my kind of day, I can't believe I'm doing that. But you can see that there's like little gold, matte gold leaves. There's bright orange or paprika colored large sequins. There's some brown small ones, and there's these little balls. So those were really cool, but I didn't know how much shaker material I was going to need. And so what I wanted to do was stamp some leaves, like about maybe silver dollar size, and cut them out and put them in my shaker. So, I had big shaker bits, but of course that's buried in my craft room. And what I can get to is this old Family Treasures paper punch. And I have several of these big paper punches that make leaves. And one of the papers that I've been using with this fall paper is this copper ore, and it is gorgeous. It is so beautiful. And it's, I've bought metallic papers before and they're kind of flimsy, but this is heavy. I don't know, heavy cardstock. And so punching through that is a bit of a challenge, but I did do it. And I made a bunch of these cool leaves because I wanted a few bigger pieces in my shaker, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead and put a few of the other, make sure I get a good mix of leaves and sequins and beads. It seems like the more I've used this mix, those silver or those gold leaves kind of overtake the shaker a little bit if you just dump, because they're heavier, So I just wanted to make sure I had plenty of the other stuff, right? And so I'm making a pile, but I don't want it to be fat because my foam isn't very heavy and I don't want stuff to be stuck. Does that make sense? Like if it's piled high, it might be thicker than my foam. That copper, I tell you what, those metallic cardstock papers are really beautiful. And in just a minute, I'm going to show you a second page, and it's cool. Yeah, I think you'll really like it. Okay, I have no idea if this is enough. I'm assuming I'm going a little light, but I'm going to show you, well, maybe I'll just put it more on. I have plenty of this, so I'm spreading it out because I don't want anything to get stuck. All right. Are we ready? Ready for our leaf? Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I've unstuck my, foam tape. I am just going to lay it down and put it in place and press all around. I don't want any spots where shaker could escape. Although I had a couple of pieces that were kind of loose anyway. Okay, look, oh my God, it's so cool. I love it. Isn't it beautiful? And when it lays in the album up and down, this is how it will look. But then when you open your album and turn the pages, it's gonna move around. And look how gorgeous it is. And with that copper ore in there, oh my gosh, it's so cool. I love it, love it, love it. So the other paper, I love the trees. So this is a 12 by 12 Harbor, 11 3/4 inch toffee, and then I just cut another 1/4 inch. obviously got it a little crooked, but that's okay. I'm gonna live with that. And then I made this strip of the tree. I'm gonna move my camera just a little. So I made that strip for the bottom with the trees, and I'm gonna put that on. And that'll hide some of that where I got it a little crooked. And I don't think it's very noticeable, to be honest. Now, I don't have adhesive on this side because I only put I had only put the foam tape around the leaf. So I want to put a little foam tape down here so that it doesn't sink in. Does that make sense? You just kind of need to make sure it's kind of even all over. You don't want it to be saggy on one part and just foamed up around the leaf. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And you don't realize it, but those little tiny balls that are in this mix really move around. Cool. This is, it really gives it motion, which I think adds to it a lot. So that is amazing, my friends. I love it. And then I have a zip strip. Let me see where I put it. I will just cut a new one since I laid it down somewhere in my craziness. Okay, so one of the zip strips that's on the paper is this really cool Harbor Blue print, and I don't know, I just wanted another little bit, right there. It doesn't even matter where I trim this, it won't show. Okay, so I'm gonna put adhesive on there. And I just want to make sure it's at the top. And then my photo will go there. Ta-da! Can you see it? I'm going to raise up a little bit on my camera. I hope you can see it. I feel like I'm giving you guys like dizzy spells moving my camera around so much, but when I have it landscape like this, it's like it's nice to be able to see 2 pages at once, but I need to make sure it's high enough. Isn't it beautiful? And then just picture, you know, this says grateful, thankful, and blessed. And I can put that up there. I can make like a little cluster with using my sticker sheet. I mean, really, this is a cool page. And I can't wait to really use it. And I like that it's kind of plain. I'll probably add a few little stickers here and maybe a couple, and maybe a title. I mean, I left room for a title, but I gotta tell ya, that is awesome. Okay, so I'm setting this one aside, hoping I can find it later. Gosh, isn't it a blast from the past to see those old paper punches? Oh my gosh. Okay, so for this one, I'm like, I want to use these trees. I want these trees. I want these trees. I love these trees. And so here I go. I am gonna make a shaker page. Maybe you don't want to make one that's quite so much, right? So I cut a 1/2 inch strip off the top and side of these so that I could adhere the trees to my paprika. And what I want is for them to be, I want it to touch on the inside line of the page, and then all the way around there'll be like an even border the rest of the way. So I'm going to do that on both pages. That makes this paper a little not quite square. Like I only cut a 1/4 inch on one side, and then I cut a 1/2 inch on one side, and what that did was allowed a 1/4 inch all the way around. I hope that makes sense. And like that. And again, we have kind of the same size all the way around. Ta-da! Now the other thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to use stripes. So I'm trying to use my pattern paper kind of sparingly, and I wanted to use this orange stripe. So I'm gonna put it just under the trees because I like the trees showing at the top. And I'm gonna do that on both sides of the paper. So I think I cut this to 10.5 if you're wanting to do the same thing. And I'm just eyeballing it where I'm putting it, right? Okay, and then, sorry, I have a shaker bit or something underneath my table. It's driving me a little nuts. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it was one of those little balls. Okay, now I cut a piece of Harbor long, so it goes longer than this orange piece, so it's around 11.5, and then I cut a little notch in the end. Okay, and I'm just gonna butt that up to the orange on this side, and then on this side I just kept it plain on this side, so it's just going to oh, you know what I did? I cut a 1/2 inch too much off of this one because I cut it and then I was like, oh, that's too short. So I just thought I'll just put a little piece. How weird, right? Surely you guys don't ever have to do these kind of things, but I figured by the time I'm done, I don't think it will show. And that way it's the same size, right? Like that. And then I have another little strip of the pattern stripe. Now, what I could have totally just cut a giant piece and all of this would have been covered, but this allowed me to use like one sheet of paper for both pages and save some of my stripe. Yes, I'm cheap that way. If you look at your pages that I make for you, you'll definitely notice. So what I'm doing is I'm leaving a little gap because I'm going to cover that up, but not a big gap, not a bunch. All right. And this is just, you know, it's just the stripe paper, no notches, nothing. It just goes side to side. I want you to be able to see both pages without me moving them around like this. I feel like I'm moving them around, Okay. Give me a message if you can't see that, okay? So now I have that cool copper ore cardstock that I love, and that's what I'm gonna put here and here, okay? So I might put a little extra adhesive on it because it's really heavy cardstock. And I just want it to cover like that. Okay. And then this, same thing. So now I have, I don't love how this looks. I'll probably put something down there anyway, but I'm gonna cut this. There. Feel better now. I cut a little notch just so my piece doesn't look weird down there. Ta-da! Now, obviously, this is pretty stripy. It needs something vertical to like break it up a little bit. And so I took that gray, it almost like a plaid flannel type, and I am going to, I mean, this would be gorgeous too. Look at that. Aw, isn't that pretty? But I liked the gray, and I really haven't used the gray yet. I'm so entranced by this other pattern that's on the back of it that I keep flipping it to this pattern and not using this one, but I need to use this one. And so I am going to just put that up here like that. Now, what to do, right? What I want to do is I want to put a photo here, 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 and hold on, I'm reaching. You might be able to see my elbows as I reach for everything. And one right here. So this is my layout essentially, and I went through my Picture My Life cards. There's a lot of different ones that would work great. Like I thought this would be great for Thanksgiving. What I'm thankful for, look at how nice that would look up there. If you had something vertical, there's, you know, plaids, Home Sweet Home, autumn, that's really nice. That looks really good. Fall. Look, the trees. I could outline that in Harbor Blue and put that on there. That looks really nice. There's so many options with these little cards. Welcome to our patch. Quality time with family. You could just put just a pattern. So you get the idea. You get the idea. There's a lot of options. I kind of liked this one that said "In Good Company," and I backed it with Harbor, and I thought that would look really nice right there. So that's kind of my plan, right? In general. So I'm gonna go ahead and adhere. I keep telling you guys, gosh, I can't believe that I sit, you know, I try to save time as much as I can when I do these lives, and over people are like, you don't have to go in a hurry, you can slow down. And I was watching someone do a live over the weekend, and they literally were out of breath the whole time because they were talking so fast and they were trying to get everything done. And I was like, I really don't want to be that way. I don't want to be out of breath the whole time and trying to hurry, because I think you're probably watching this. I don't know whether you really have time or not, but in my world, I only watch these when I have time to watch them anyway. Okay, so I have all the parts put down, and I want to do some decorating. I got some of these really cool wood pieces. They are sticker backed, and they're fragile. So you know, when you use them, you know, you have to be careful when you peel, because like that. But they're really fun to use. And the other thing I have is I have this Happy Autumn Days, which I'm going to put over here, and I put some foam tape on the back of these pumpkin stickers, and I'm going to use those. But before I do that, I want to show you another shaker idea that I had. I think I've shown you this one before, where you put shaker material inside of a flip flap. So I'm going to do that now. I don't want a ton because I'm not actually putting a photo in this flip flap, okay? Let me see how much I got here. I just want enough to be able to go on top of my picture and shake around. Let me see. I need more stuff and not, I need more stuff and not leaves. Does that make sense? It would be really cool. I should add some of those punched out leaves that I made. Those were neat. Is it weird that I'm being picky about what I want in here? All right. Because it's all, the truth is it's all a great mix. Okay. When you put shaker material in a page protector, it's really important that you seal this top, because if you don't, you will have shaker material everywhere, like I don't already. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna move that out of the way. And you can use score tape, but since I have my foam tape here, I'm just gonna use foam tape if I can get it open. There we go. So I wanna make sure it's long enough to fill that space. Looking for my scissors. How is it possible that I put my scissors down? Okay. All right. So I'm going to put some foam tape. I would normally use score tape, and I'm going to put that on the inside of this. And you can see I am making it go from end to end, and I'm not being skimpy and leaving the edges undone either. Everything is done. And then I'm gonna lift my adhesive on my foam tape. This one didn't lift. Okay, and then I'm gonna adhere that really tightly. That way my pieces will move around but not fall out, right? And then you have your, then you're ready to adhere your page flap. I'm going to take the adhesive off, and I want to wrap it around the opening so that it's another layer. Okay, it's another layer. I might even put another layer of adhesive on there. I'm just calming nervous, but oh God. Now see, look at my day. This is what I just did. Okay, adhere that. Adhere my flip flap to the page like this. Okay, and then it'll flip up and it's attached. But I'm gonna put a photo under there and it will be perfect. You won't have to lift it. You could lift it to see the picture better, but you don't have to. So, get all my extra bits off of there. Okay, and this little thing won't show because I'll have a photo on it. Oh. Okay, so now I just need to decorate my pages, and I'm just going to do that using the stickers and the wood shapes, and apparently sequins, because I have them from here to eternity. That's what it's kind of like working with glitter. It's got a little bit of static and a mind of their own. They stick to everything and until you want them to stick to something. Okay, you know what I mean. I think I'm gonna put some. So with these wood shapes, one thing that I like to do sometimes is I'll try to lift them off of the sticker sheet, but you have to be really careful. Like that. But if you can't, you can pop them out and then peel the backing off. You just have to be they're a little dainty because they're so thin. Okay, so I have Happy Autumn Days, and I have a ton of options for using different stickers that, you know, you can adhere in here. I just don't want to put them on top of my flip flap. And I really love the pumpkins. I really love this Happy Holidays. Isn't that cute? Let's see. What else? This little scarf that's in this pack, I'm like, it's not really that cold in my area in the fall, but I know that there are places where it's really chilly in the fall. And you know, we do have some falls where you have to wear a sweatshirt or something, but I just keep getting stuff out. Do you see? I'm just like making more of a I think I'll put foam tape on this one too. Look at me. I'm like close to my heart doing it with the foam tape, right? I'm not as fast as they are though. They put it on like wicked. Every time I'm watching their lives and they're putting foam tape on, I feel like I'm having to race to keep up with them. They are so fast, and I think I have a tendency to put more on than they do. Okay, so I love that. That is cool, right? That is cool. And then I'm gonna bring in this other page side by side. And you know, I already had a couple of pumpkins picked out down here, and I think I'm gonna use this wheat stalk. You know, sometimes I look at something like that and go, that's kind of ugly. That's not my taste. But it does have that harbor color, and it has the wheat stalk. And you know, I have the I have this stamp in that one stamp set, and I'm shocked at how much I love it, and I've actually used it several times already. So it's a, you know, you don't know, I guess, how good something works until you try it. I try to stamp every stamp in every set at least once, to make sure that it works well, and to see if I'm gonna like it, you know. I really love this. Love this. Happy autumn days, in good company. And I think I'm going to use this for Thanksgiving this year. And so I might use thankful for every moment, or blessed. I'm trying to think. Sweater weather works, but gather. Look at that. It's so pretty. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Love, love, love it. So this is essentially what I have to show you today. Is there any questions or anything that you guys have, or anything that you want to see? Next week, I need to show you the really cool stamp of the, you know how we have like a National Stamp Month special with the little, you know, slim lines and stuff? I really want to show you that because I have some cool cards that I'm going to make with that. Gosh darn it. I have like a motion card that I want to show you, and all right. Well, if you have any questions that come up, or anything at all that you want to see out of the catalog that you're curious about, please let me know, because I have basically bought it all. I am in love with fall. I obviously am in love with fall. I'm not quite ready for the Christmas stuff. I feel like haven't enjoyed the fall stuff yet, so it's a little hard to get out all the Christmas stuff. It's like I've bypassed one of my favorite seasons. So I will, though. I will. All right, I'm going to stop with these little stickers, and I hope that you love my shaker stuff, my layouts. Let me show you that one again. I just think this is stunning. I was going to give this page away, but I love it too much, and so I'm going to deck it out with a few stickers and call it done. I'll see you guys later, and thanks for putting up with my craziness today. Bye.